and welcome to our webinar. Getting started just 1 minute late. I'm so glad that a bunch of you were able to make it today. We are going to learn how to turn your Ancestry data into a family history poster here on MyCanvas. So I thought I'd start out by introducing you all a little bit to myself and to MyCanvas before we jump into the demonstration. So my name is Laurel Link. I know that right. And I help run MyCanvas here with our small team. We're based in Madison, Wisconsin, and do a lot of our printing right here. All the family tree posters come through. They're really fun to see running through our printers. Like I mentioned, we're kind of a small team. Most of us are on this Zoom right now. Not everybody, but most of us. MyCanvas is a separate company from a separate company from Ancestry.com. They're an exclusive partner with us. So we are able to pull your data and turn it into beautiful keepsakes, but we are not part of Ancestry.com. So unfortunately, if you're having any trouble with the Ancestry site, that's not something that we're able to fix, but we do know quite a bit about Ancestry from using it ourselves. So sometimes we can help with some minor problems on that end. The team that you see here today at MyCanvas transitioned in about 2018. We had to rebuild the MyCanvas site because it was built on a platform called Adobe Flash, which Adobe, the software company, stopped supporting. So we had to rebuild it. And we spent, several years bringing the site back to how it was before, able to make these beautiful posters. And I feel like we made it maybe a little bit better. And there's still a few features that we're even continuing to add as we go. So we're really excited today to show you everything that our poster builder can do. That's kind of the basic introduction to MyCanvas. Now we're going to try something to get to know a little bit about the folks who are here watching the webinar, about all of you. We're going to do a quick poll to learn a little bit about your experience with the MyCanvas website. So you should see a window just pop up in front of your Zoom in just a second. That's going to ask you your experience with MyCanvas. Have you ever ordered something from us? Was it a poster, a book, calendar, something else? Or have you never placed an order on MyCanvas before? Which I have a feeling there's probably a handful of you who have not, because that's why you're here to learn how to make your poster. We'll give you guys a few seconds to click your answer if you'd like to participate, and then we're gonna see what everyone here has done or has not done on our website before. It's pulling away. It should pop up the results for us in just a second. Just as I suspected, most people have never placed an order on MyCanvas. And it's fun to see somebody has ordered a book before. Our book builder is very robust, has so many features. We've done a webinar on building books before, and it was a long one because there's a lot to learn about books, but it's fun to see that one of you has already taken a crack at that. And a handful of you have made a poster before, so hopefully today you'll learn some new tips and tricks that you didn't even know the first time. But that's just fun to learn a little bit about your guys' experience with our site before. And now Meg, who's going to do our demonstration, will know we got a lot of folks starting from scratch, so she'll be really, really clear as she talks about how to build a poster. So like I just mentioned, I'm going to hand it over to Meg pretty soon, but I just wanted to mention one more thing. There is a question and answer feature that we're going to use throughout this webinar where you can ask questions. If you look on your Zoom screen, you should see a Q&A option. And if you click that, there's a space for you to type a question, and you also should be able to see questions that have already been asked. So if you're wondering something, you can look in the question and answer box. We have a handful of other folks from the MyCanvas team. Caitlin and Janelle and Jasmine and Sunny are all just ready for questions that pop up to answer them. So if you have a question, that's the first place to look. If someone has already asked it, you can actually give it an upvote, a thumbs up, so that we know, like, hey, get to this one quickly. and we'll try to answer some of them as we go. And we'll also have a time at the end. So if you just want to save your questions until the very end, we'll have some time where Meg will answer some questions out loud in the webinar, and we'll also be typing in responses even once Meg is done with her demonstration. So since the demonstration does cover a lot about poster making, if you have a question that you think we might answer down the road, just hold on to it, and you can wait till the end when we say, all right, Meg's done, and you solve that question, you can type it right into the Q&A. We will get to it. So all that said, I'm going to hand it over to Meg, who runs operations here at MyCanvas. She actually helps with all of those posters flying through our printers every day, getting them out the door in time. And you may have interacted with her before if you've seen our YouTube channel. She's the voice on all of our videos that explain a lot of the features on our site. So you may recognize her voice if you've watched our YouTube before. And I'm going to hand it over to Meg for our demo.
Thanks, Laurel. I am now sharing my screen. So today, as Laurel mentioned, I'm going to walk through some of the key features of our family history poster builder, as well as some extra tips and tricks for making your poster look a little extra special. So here we are on the MyCanvas homepage. And before starting anything on MyCanvas, you're going to want to make sure that you log into your Ancestry account so that your account is connected and any projects that you're working on are using your Ancestry data. So up here in the upper right-hand corner, if you choose the login button, you'll be able to head to the login page where you can choose the green login with Ancestry button. That's right here. And then you'll be able to connect right to your Ancestry account, add your information, and select sign in. Once you've successfully signed in with your Ancestry account, you'll see a box here that lets you know you've been successfully logged in and you're ready to start your poster. So to begin your poster, you'll head to the products section on the MyCanvas homepage, and then you'll head to the Ancestry Family History section. If you scroll down just a bit, you'll see a category for an Ancestry family tree poster, and you'll want to select that. So here on this page is where you'll choose the type of poster you're going to want to create. You can choose from 3 different options. The first is a standard poster, which starts with an individual and then includes their direct line of ancestors. So it looks like this little shape here that you can see on the page. The maximum number of generations for this poster is 9. The second type of poster you can create is a combination poster, which starts with a couple and then includes their children and direct line of ancestors for each person in the starting couple. The maximum number of generations for that poster is 7. And just recently, we've been working hard on this. We added our new descendant posters, which starts with an individual or a couple and includes their direct line of descendants up through their great-grandchildren. So the maximum generations for that type of poster is 4. So today I'm going to build a standard 5-generation poster. So I'm going to select both of those options. And if I scroll down a little more, you can see there's an option to add wooden rails with your poster, which are pictured right here in this picture. They're a magnetic hanging system where you can just snap your poster and hang it easily on your wall, and then it won't damage your poster, which is nice. And it's just super easy, simple way to display your poster. Laurel's going to show what those look like in person in a little while, but if you'd like to get wooden rails with your poster, you can add them right now and save a few dollars with a bundle, or you can choose just to build a poster if that's what you'd prefer. So once you've decided all of your options, you can hit the continue button and you'll be taken to an area where you can begin your poster. So you'll start by selecting the family tree that you'd like to use for your poster. And then you can type in the starting person. So since this is a standard poster, I'm going to pick a starting person to have the rest of the information follow. So I'm going to type that information in. I see Philip Hamilton, which is who I'd like to use. I'm going to select that person and hit preview your creation. This pop-up here is, it will appear if you've made any changes in your Ancestry data since the last time you made a project and you'd like that to be reflected. You can choose to refresh your Ancestry data changes and hit continue. So that'll just make sure anything you've added into your Ancestry account will appear with the data that's being pulled. So once your data has been added, you'll see a family tree appear. So my poster's been made easy as that. And you can see it's filled with a lot of information, but you might want to add more information, change things around. So we'll talk through that today. But the first thing you'll want to do before beginning any work on your poster is make sure that you save your posters with a special name. So today I'm going to save mine as Hamilton demonstration. I'm going to use this box in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to type in my name and choose save. So now any edits that I make to this poster will be saved to that name of the draft. So I can use that in the future. So once you've saved, you're ready to begin editing. And one of the first changes you can make to your poster is the style of your poster. So you can see on the left-hand side here, we offer 3 different styles of poster. The first is a classic poster, which is visible right now. It's got a tree in the background and a little bit fancier font. You can choose a modern poster, which is more of a block letter styling and some modern shapes. Or you can choose from vintage background, which is a little more simple, has some flourishes in the corners, and a more standard text. In order to change your style of your poster, you should just select it on the left-hand side. It's as easy as just clicking between the options, but you will want to make sure you make that decision before you begin your poster. I'm going to stick with the modern background for today. So once you've chosen that style, you can begin editing text and photos. So I'm going to start with editing some text in my poster. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see a little more clearly what I'm doing. And the first thing you might notice when I zoom in is that there are some plus signs hanging out below the names of the people in my tree. And that's maybe from some information that I didn't fill in fully on my Ancestry account. So the data was not transferred into my tree. But if I have information that I'd like to add in those places, all you need to do is double click on the plus sign and you will see a flashing cursor. And that means you're ready and able to start editing the text on your poster. So I can add any information that I have and click away, and it's saved underneath the correct person and with the correct formatting for my poster. If you don't have anything to add, but you see those plus sign placeholders, you don't need to delete them or remove them. They won't print on your finished poster. They're just there as a placeholder. If you'd like to delete them, you can, but it's okay if they stay as well. Another thing that you can do to your text is edit existing text. And you can do that really easily by just double clicking on any existing text on your page. So I'm going to change this United States of America just to read USA. So I double clicked on the text box, I saw the flashing cursor, and then I was able to make the changes that I need. And once I click away from that box, my text has been changed. I'd also like to adjust the size of this text box because I'd like the death information to be on one continuous line. So in order to do that, I'm going to click on the box and make it a little bit wider. But I can see when I make that change, it overlaps onto this line here. So I'm going to see if I can move the text box and fit that a little bit more. So in order to move a text box, you just click on it and drag it to wherever you'd like it. It's still a little bit large, so I'm not going to keep that change. I preferred it when it was on 2 lines. So in order to undo any change you've made when you're editing your text, you can use this undo button. It's in the top toolbar here. on the left-hand corner, and you can just press that button as many times as you need. And here you can see I pressed it twice and my text box is back to the way I originally started. You can also use this top right toolbar to edit things about your poster. So in order to change the justification of your text, which is the alignment, you can use these three buttons here, which let you change to a left alignment, to a right alignment, or to a center alignment. And I'm going to leave mine center aligned because all of my other text is that way. Another thing you can do is you can select a text and change the color. So I'm going to change the color of this box over here to red. And you can do that by choosing the color picker and choosing any of these colors or picking one yourself. You can also use this toolbar to change the size of your font by using these arrows to go up or down. One thing I do want to point out is you can see here as I make the text bigger, it does automatically adjust itself to have a bigger box, and it will flow into elements if you are not watching closely. So though I made this text bigger, it's now running into the avatar for Elizabeth. So I'm going to make it smaller so that I don't have that problem. And I put it back to its original size. So it's an easy way to change the font size, but just be careful of that happening in your project. And the final thing you can change with this toolbar is the style of your text. And you can use this text picker here if you want to change to something that's a little more bold or just a different style altogether. You can use that text picker to easily make that change. The final thing that you can do with text that is often helpful when making a project is duplicating an existing piece of text. So I just spent time making this box of text have red color and a special font style. And instead of redoing that over again, I can select this box of text and head to the upper right-hand corner, and I can choose this duplicate elements button. And when I do that, I get a second box of text. So I can then select that text, drag it with the mouse wherever I want it to go. So right here, I can double click on the text box and remove this information. And then I can write a story about James if I have one. And then my text styling is the same as the text I just changed. So that's an easy way to recreate the style that you're working on just by duplicating an element and changing what it says. And as I mentioned earlier, placeholders like this plus sign, they're not going to print. Down here, there's a placeholder in my corner with a picture and some information for if Philip had a spouse. And that won't print if you leave it there, but I'm going to delete it off of my page so that I have a little more room moving forward for some photos I'd like to add. So if you want to delete an element from your poster, you'll simply select the element and then head to the upper right-hand corner, and you'll see a little trash can icon. You can choose that button to delete anything from your project. You can also select an item and use the delete key on your keyboard, which is what I'm doing right now. And that's an easy way to remove anything off your page that you no longer would like to have. So next we'll work on changing and adding photos. You can access photos from two main places in the poster editor. And one of those places is this Ancestry icon on the left-hand toolbar. That has a link to all of your photos related to this family tree in your Ancestry account. And here you can filter by person to find photos and records about a specific person in your tree. And you can also add photos from this poster specific photo library. So I'm going to work from this area today. So I'm going to leave that open on the side. And I'm going to start with a very common question that we receive, and it's about changing out a photo on your tree. So for instance, if you have a photo of someone, but it populated an avatar and you'd like to change that photo, it's really easy. All you have to do is select the photo you'd like to replace. and then head to either your photos or your Ancestry photos. I'm gonna use photos right here, and then find the photo you're looking to replace, click on it, and it just swaps itself out. So it's just as easy as selecting and clicking the photo you need, and it will change the place of the photo with the new photo. If you would like to add a photo to your page that isn't already on there and you see it in your library, you'd like to add it, it's really easy to do that too. You just head to your photo library and click on the photo you'd like to add. So I'm going to add the photo of this building here to my page. And to do that, I'll just click on it and it appears in the center of your project. So that's not quite the place where I'd like to have that on my poster. So in order to move it, I'm just going to click and drag it to where I'd like it to go. I'm going to use this bottom area. I've got some open space and I'd like to fill it up. And it's still a little big. It's kind of encroaching on some of the information I have. So in order to resize a photo, make sure that it's selected with the blue box around it, and then hover your mouse over the white corner until you see a double-sided arrow. Click with your mouse and drag in to make it smaller. You can also drag outwards to make it larger, but I'm going to drag mine in a little bit smaller. I'm going to zoom in here so I can see a little bit better. There are lots of other things that you can do to edit your photo once you've added it to your poster. And you can do that with this top toolbar here that will show up when you have your photo selected. So the first thing you can do is crop your photo. So I'd like this photo to be square. I'm going to choose the crop button. And then I'm going to, again, hover my mouse over the white corner until I see a double-sided arrow and click and drag to crop it to the size that I'd like. Once I'm done cropping, I'll choose the Done button in the upper toolbar. And you can see my photo has been cropped to a square. I can also choose to round my photo and round the corners, so it'll become a circular photo once I've done that. And if you decide you don't like the circular look, you can switch back to a square photo with the square button. And the last way that you can edit a photo with this top toolbar is by adding a border. You can choose this border icon and select the color of border you'd like. And then you can use the thickness selector to make it a thicker border or a thinner border. You can see here as I increase the thickness, the border appears much larger and thicker on my image below. The next type of photo I'd like to add to my poster is a photo that's actually on my computer desktop. So I don't see it here in my library, but I know it's on my computer. So in order to upload a photo from your device, you're going to head to the Photos section and choose this Upload Photo button right here. And then you will look for the file on your device. And I see it here. It's labeled as map, and I'm going to select it so that it uploads. And I can see that it's been added to my photo library. And in order to add it into my poster, again, I'm just going to click on it right from my photo library. It's much larger than I'd like it to be. So again, in order to resize it, I'm going to hover my mouse, click, and drag it to be smaller. Then I'm going to click on the photo and drag it up into the corner to move it. And you can kind of re-click and re-drag until you get it exactly where you'd like it to be. The final thing that you can do when editing your poster to make it a little bit more exciting and a little bit more fun is adding embellishments. So we have a large library of embellishments on the left-hand side of the toolbar here. You can choose the Embellish button. And you can see here we have lots of different categories that you can choose from: arrows, flowers, flags. I'm going to add a frame to begin with. So I'm going to look for the frame category. You see it here. And when I click on it, I can see the library of frames that MyCanvas has to offer. And I'm going to scroll down until I find one that I like for this picture. I'm going to try this one here. And to add it, I just clicked on it. Just like you would add a photo, you can just click on the element and it will appear on your page. You can then click and drag to resize it, move it around. I'm going to make it a little smaller here. And there I've added a frame to my poster to call attention to the map that I've added. I'd also like to add a little bit of a flourish near the title of my poster. So in order to do that, I'm going to exit out of the frame category and look for a category that has what I'd like. Here's one called Swirls and Flourishes. And so I'm going to look in this category. There's lots of options here for extra artistic flair that you can add. And I'm going to look until I see one that I like. I'm going to go with this one right here. And so to add any embellishment, again, just click on the embellishment. It will appear in the center of your page. And then you can click and drag it to where you'd like it to be. So I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to make it a little larger by clicking and dragging again on that corner box and recenter it. And if I find an embellishment that I really like, so I like this one, I just added quite a bit, and I might want to use it again on my poster, but I don't want to have to go looking for it again. We have a feature called favorites where you can favorite embellishments and frames and photos that you want to use again and again. And in order to make something a favorite, you'll hover your mouse over top of the image in the left-hand toolbar and click on the heart in the upper left-hand corner. That will add it to this favorites category. There's a section for photos and a section for embellishments. And there you can see the embellishment that I just favorited. So we've gone through how to edit text, how to add photos, and change things up on your poster. And before you are done with any poster or you move away or do anything, you'll want to make sure you head back to that save button in the upper right-hand corner and hit it once again, just to make sure all of your changes have been saved. And I'm just about ready to send it back to Laurel, but before I do, I wanted to just show a few other examples of posters that have been built with the poster editor. So as I mentioned, we built a standard poster today. That's what you can see right here. But you can also use the same editor to make a combination poster. So here's an example of that. It starts with a couple and splits out. And this is on the vintage background. And then this is an example of our most recently added Descendants poster. So this is an example on the vintage background with the tree and the layout. So there's lots of different things that you can do with your posters, and you can use the editor that we just went through to build any of the 3 types of posters we offer. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and send it back to Laurel.
Thanks, Meg. You should be unmuted now. Yeah, like Meg mentioned, I have some actual physical posters here with me that I'm going to show you. They're pretty big. So this one is a standard poster, just like Meg has been building with Alexander Hamilton's family, but this is Jessica Russell's family tree, starting with her and going back many generations. It's 24 by 18, this one, and you can tell it's on a pretty thick paper. I'm going to hear some sound effects there. It's an archival photo paper. So the photos that print out actually look really clear, really nice. It's matte, so there's no glare when you hang it on the wall, despite the sun coming in my window there. And everything's really easy to read, nice and big. I really like the look of our finished posters. I'll show you another example. This one's slightly smaller because it has less generations. It's 16 by 20, and this is a combination poster, using the Alexander Hamilton family that Meg was using, but this puts Alexander and Elizabeth in the middle and has both of their ancestors going back on both sides. And this is using the magnetic rails that Meg mentioned. It's really nice when you order our poster with the rails, because the moment you take it out of the box, you can throw those rails on and hang it on the wall. It's all ready. You don't have to hunt down a frame or anything. And I'll even show you, it's a little bit hard up in the air here, how the rails work. I'm going to snap them off at the bottom here. This was the bottom rail that was just on there. It's actually 2 pieces, one for behind your poster and one in front. and both pieces have little magnets inside. So what I do is lay one on the table, lay my poster on top, and just snap it together, easy as that. And it adds a little weight to the bottom of your poster to hold it down, and adds, when you snap it on the top, a nice string on the top so you can hang it up. And it's just a really easy way to have it ready to hang the moment you get it home. The last poster I'm going to show you is very big. This is a 36 by 24 descendant poster. So it's nice and large. I'll even stand up to give you the full view here. And this starts with a couple, has all their children, grandchildren, even great grandchildren. And like I mentioned, it's nice and big. And the photos print out really nicely, really clear on this photo paper. I actually made this example poster. So when I was, in the editor, like Meg has been using, sometimes some of the fonts, like the great grandchildren's birthdays, looked kind of small. I was using my laptop screen. It was kind of small, but when it prints out nice and big like this, it's very clear. I can read everyone's name, everyone's birthday. So I think they turn out really nice. I wish you could all see them in person. This is the best I can do, holding them up for you. So we're going to do another quick poll just to find out, because I'm always curious what people are thinking along the way. What your favorite style of poster is? Do you go, are you thinking of creating a standard poster, starting with one person or couple and going back through their ancestry? Are you thinking of doing a combination tree that starts with a couple and shows both sides of their ancestry? Or a descendant poster, which starts with a person or couple and goes forward in time, I suppose, down through their descendants, their children and grandchildren and great grandchildren. Which style is first on your list to make? And I'll mention one thing just while you're voting, because I've seen some questions going by about the layouts and the actual visual style of the posters that we have available. Right now, basically what we've showed you is what we have. But we're always looking to add more. So for example, the descendant posters are new. It's not something we had a few weeks ago. And we're always looking at cool new styles, like a fan chart, or someone in the Q&A mentioned a spiral, which I think is really cool. So if you have more ideas for styles you'd like to see, we're always happy to hear them. And we will be working on adding, just more as we can, as we have the time. And yeah, I'd love to hear what other styles you guys would be interested in. But for now, let's see how you voted. Pretty split somewhat evenly, with the standard tree being the most popular, but people also looking at combinations and descendants potentially. I really like the descendant poster. I think this time of year for gifting, it makes a really nice present for grandparents to see their whole family in front. So I do like to see those as some good gifts this time of year. I'm going to hand it back to Meg. She's going to finish up letting you know how to turn the beautiful poster that you finished designing into a physical print that you can have delivered right to your house.
Thank you, Laurel. I'm now sharing my screen again. So we've made our poster. We stepped away to learn a little bit from Laurel. So I saved my poster and backed completely out. But now we're ready to order that poster. So to pick up where you left off on any project that you're currently working on or that is a draft, you'll want to head to the My Projects section at the top of MyCanvas. And then you'll see here a My Creations section. And I can see the poster we've been working on right here. So if I'm ready to continue on, I'll just select the Edit Creation button. And here I am back into the tree that we were working on. If I wanted to make any last changes before I added it to my cart, this would be the time. But since we're ready, I'm going to head to the upper right-hand corner and select Add to Cart. You will be asked to check this box here, which is basically making sure that you've read through all the information, you've made sure the spelling is correct, the dates are right, the placement is correct. Since this is a custom product, custom made to you, it's going to print as is, and we won't be able to adjust anything once you've submitted the order. So this is just making sure you've confirmed and looked it over. If you didn't already add wooden rails to your poster, but you'd still like to, here's an easy way to add them. You can use this toggle button to add them to your cart. I'm just going to continue though. Here's your cart one more time. That gives you a snapshot of everything in your cart. So if you've added anything else, it would appear here as well. And to check out, you can select this blue checkout button. You can add your shipping information on the left-hand side. Also in the cart, you have the ability to add a gift note. So if you're sending a poster for a gift, which is a very popular thing to do this time of year, you can check this box right here for a gift note. And you can choose from 3 different designs by selecting this 3 little dot icon here. And then you can just click, see that flashing cursor, and type a gift message right here. You don't have to choose save or anything. It will automatically be saved and added. And then you can choose from 2 different shipping methods. At this point in time, you'd want to choose Express to get that item by Christmas. And so select your shipping method, then enter your payment information, and you would select pay right here to check out. Once your order's ordered and it's on the way, you don't have to wait until you get your poster to share it with your friends and family. And so a feature that we have that's pretty fun is the ability to share your completed project with friends and family. So in order to do that, you'll want to go to the My Account button on the homepage. It's in the upper right-hand corner, and then select Orders from the left-hand side of your user profile. And you'll want to head to the order that you placed, hit the Show Detail button, and then if you scroll down, too much there, you'll see a Share Creation button underneath the poster that you just ordered. You can select that button, and you'll see a place to add some information about the poster that you just made. So I can write title here. I can add the author as me, Meg, and then I can add a description. Hey, Laurel, look at my poster. So I can send this over to my friends and family to take a look, hit the update details button, and that will save and send with your poster that you share. And in order to share it, you can use this copy link button and text that or email that, send that over to whomever you'd like to take a look. And you can also look at the preview as well by choosing this preview button. Here you can see the title and information that I just added. And the really cool thing about that, this is what your friends and family will see when you share it as well. They can add a copy of your poster right to their cart and place their own order, easy as that. So if you have a lot of friends and family who would be interested in having their own copy of your family history, you can send it to them. And you can also have them use your referral code that we offer to get $10 off their poster, and you get $10 in credit towards your future MyCanvas order. The other thing that you can do from your account page here, we chose the Share Creation button. You can also just add a copy right to your cart again if you need to place another order, and then you just follow that checkout flow that we already did. Or you can choose this Continue with Creation button. And if you select that, it will create another new draft of the poster you had just been working on, and you can save it as something new using this top toolbar and start working on another draft. So if you wanted to change some information or style it differently, you can do that while still keeping your other draft or poster just the same. So that's all I have for placing an order and getting your poster on its way to you. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen and send it back to Laurel one more time.
Thank you, Meg. When I was showing the posters, I forgot to show you guys these gift cards that Meg mentioned. So when you type a message at checkout, we will print it out on a cute little card. It goes into an envelope and we'll put it right in the box with your order. Our posters do come in a very hard, sturdy tube. If you order rails, they are outside of the tubes. They don't damage the poster, and all inside of a nice MyCanvas box that shows up right at your door. Like I said, if it's got those rails, you're ready to hang. Or you can, find a frame that's, we'll let you know the size before it ships. You'll have plenty of time to get yourself a frame. But we're going to go over a few of the questions and answers. Most of them have been answered by our team as we went along, but we thought we'd highlight some that came up multiple times or just seemed important in case folks weren't reading along. You can hear from Meg and I what the answers are. So one question, Meg, that we saw a lot is, can I fit my entire family tree on a poster with aunts and uncles and everybody that I have in Ancestry?
That's a great question. So our posters won't display all of the data that's provided in your Ancestry tree, as they're templated out to pull certain information based on the type of poster that you choose. So our posters will display either a person's or couples' direct ancestors or their descendants. So if you're looking to add extra information like that, that's a great time to use those photo adding features and those text editing features that we talked about today to add in those extra pieces of information if you'd like to include them.
That makes sense. And like I said, with the styles, we're also always looking to increase if we can put more generations, those sorts of things. So if it's something you really want, do email and let us know, because the more people that speak up and say, I have a really large family, or I'm looking to add more people, these are things we take into consideration when we're making our plans to add more features. Another question that came up, speaking of generations on a poster, is how many generations can I fit on one poster?
Yeah, so the generations you can fit vary based on the type of poster that you choose. So for a standard poster like I created for us today, that can have up to 9. So that holds the most information. And those 9 generation posters are really big. They're 36 inches by 48 inches. So they're almost life size. So they're quite large. So it can hold a lot of information. And it's also a very big poster for you to see all that information. For a combination poster, we can have up to 7 generations. And then for a descendant poster, we offer 3 generations or 4. So only up to 4 for the descendant.
The next question we saw a couple of times is, will there be a recording of this webinar available?
Yes, we will add a recording of this webinar to our YouTube channel in the next day or two. And there's also all of this information in different ways on our YouTube channel as well. So that's a great place to subscribe and also learn more information. And we'll also send an email of this webinar out afterwards as well.
Sweet. Another important question. I think Santa was asking, when is the last day that someone can order to get their poster on time for Christmas?
The last day for Christmas delivery is by end of day, December 12th, and you'll need to use express shipping to get it at that time. In time.
Great. That was the most frequently asked questions. The other questions that have been asked, like I said, are still in that Q&A box. If you want to click on the answered questions and read through, you're welcome to. And if you do think of another question down the line while you're making your poster, or as soon as we end this call and you think, oh no, I had a question, you can always reach us. Our email is help@mycanvas.com. It's pretty easy to remember. And also every single page on our website, in the top right corner, you'll see a question mark. So you can click that question mark and it'll tell you our email address and show you the FAQs that are already on our website, so you can get help right away. So yeah, we love to hear from you. We love to help. So feel free to email us anytime, help@mycanvas.com. And it probably will be one of us who's here today, Janelle or Caitlin or Jasmine, answering your questions. So you might hear a familiar name when you get your reply. And one more thing I wanted to let you know is we will be sending, like Meg said, an email following up that will have the link to the webinar. It will have a to the recording of the webinar. It will have some of the FAQs you can read through. And also we will include a coupon, which I think it's on another slide if we want to move forward, but it will be in the email, so you won't forget it. A coupon for $5 off your poster. So thanks so much for coming to our webinar. And we're excited to see your posters and hopefully hear some stories of happy people opening up posters on Christmas Day. Oh, I love to hear stories like that from customers. So email those stories our way if you got them. Thanks, Meg, for going through the whole demonstration. And we're gonna stop our video now. But if you have a couple more questions, we'll stick around for 5 or 10 more minutes watching the Q&A box. If you just think of something right off the bat that you need answered, we can answer a few more questions. Some folks are asking about the webinar about making books that we did. We did do that a couple weeks ago, and the full video is on our YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and type in MyCanvas bookmaking webinar, you should be able to find it. And I'll include that link in the follow-up email as well, since folks are asking for it, to make it nice and easy for you guys to get to. But thanks again for coming, and hopefully we'll have more webinars in the future. We'll see you again soon.